Cool. So, yeah, we'd normally start track ideas with melodies. They obviously tend to form the kind of basis of a lot of our music. And I think once you've obviously got a strong melody down, you can kind of, the rest of the track can kind of form around that and kind of gives everything else you're doing a bit more context. So, yeah, I'd say we tend to start from that side. And there's a number of ways we go about it. So, neither of us are great keyboard players. So sometimes we'll just struggle to write like a basic 4-chord progression on keys.
Yeah.
Or the way we're going to show you this way is kind of a shortcut around that, I guess. Some might call it cheating, but it's definitely just using the tools available to you, which is what it's about. So the feature we're going to use is called Audio to MIDI, which is an Ableton specific feature. I'm not sure if other DAWs do it.
Don't think so, no.
But Ableton have had it in there for a while, and it's really useful. So we've got a basic piano loop. We're just going to drag into an audio channel. And yeah, super simple. Maybe just play it. Yeah, so super straightforward 4-chord progression, kind of nice and jazzy. And yeah, typically we'd be looking for, kind of progressions in this kind of mood, kind of like nice minor sevenths and ninths, kind of, yeah, just that kind of moody, soulful sound that we like to go for.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, basically, and this is quite a good one because it's 4 clean chords. There's no other instruments in there, so hopefully Ableton should do a pretty good job of transposing this or translating this to MIDI.
Yeah, if you do have a sample that's got a lot of like top end or weird little characterful pieces in there, it does break the Ableton algorithm a bit. So yeah, a clean sound like this is perfect, really.
Or if it's filtered as well, sometimes
Yeah,
it will. But you can. The good thing is obviously it's MIDI, so if you've got a fairly solid understanding of music theory, you can go in and clean that up. But yeah, so we'll just convert this to MIDI.
Yeah, so all you do is basically duplicate it onto a MIDI track. He says, let's load a plugin on there, otherwise it defaults back to an audio track. I'll just drag this in, and you get these 3 options here: harmony, melody, and obviously drums. We're not doing that. We'll go for harmony. We don't really use a melody feature that much, but if you have like a top line or something, you could probably extract the MIDI out of that, but it's not a feature we use. The harmony one is what we aim for because we want to get those nice chords. So you hit that, and very quickly you get your MIDI file. And this has done it pretty clean, actually. Obviously this is initialized serum patch, so it's going to sound weird, but
so we are a nice dance floor lead sound there.
That's it. Galaxy 101 that is.
So yeah, like it's probably done it about 85% accurate here. Clearly some notes are you can kind of see in the MIDI here where like some notes have been cut off, and like where there's kind of been like the keys player themselves have like added an accent to one of the notes. It's like, added additional MIDI in there. So you can just go in and clean that up basically. Yeah. But yeah, these are all pretty basic chords, so it should be pretty straightforward to do that.
Yeah, so we'll give it a quick quantize, get everything roughly locked in. Obviously make sure it starts on the 1, otherwise it's going to sound a bit odd. So we'll just basically fill in these gaps here. Then
one other thing as well that we should mention is that it's quite good at actually, not only does it do the MIDI, it does the velocities as well. So you can see how all these notes are on different velocities, which is actually quite handy. So if you ever want to like kind of recreate your own piano sample from a real human playing a piano, this feature is quite useful because it does actually bring the kind of, the accents in basically, and you can kind of get like a nice human velocity in there as well.
Yeah. Obviously we've got this kind of dissonant note here. I guess we'll leave that in for the MIDI for now, but as we progress with the tune, that might get cold. This last chord sounded pretty happy, didn't it?
Yeah, it's the top note that needs to come out, I think. It's like no, there's one above it. There we go. Yeah, so sometimes, if it sounds quite resonant, it will just add in random, really high-pitched notes. So you just want to zoom out on your MIDI view and just make sure there's nothing like weird in there.
Maybe we can just take this chord and flip it a bit. So that's quite major, that, isn't it? Let's try it. I guess this is part of our sound, is just messing about with stuff to see if it sounds better. There's no real theory to it. Let's give that a go.
So you inverted some notes there, right?
Yep. Just put it down 2 octaves.
If you use the shift down arrow key function, you can move a note by a whole octave, which is a lot quicker and easier than dragging things.
Let's see if that sounds any better.
Maybe a little bit too low, maybe.
Maybe let's duck these 2 down. Sounds worse.
A lot of our processes you'll probably see throughout this course is a little bit of trial and error, which is okay, and I think that's how you kind of get the happy accidents and kind of the little things you would never have been able to intentionally do.
Yeah, definitely.
So don't be afraid of that.
I think at the moment, what keys is in? This is our guesswork coming into play again. Is it in D? Probably in D, that isn't it? I'm guessing. We've both got absolutely no idea. Yeah, usually D is quite a hard, key to write drum and bass in, because obviously a sub D note is very low, and you only really hear it on a system. So maybe let's pitch it up a few semitones, maybe to a G. Is that a G? I mean, the root note's on a G, so let's just find out.
I actually think that note should probably be at the start of that chord.
This one?
Yeah, the dissonant one, yeah. Maybe delete the one beneath it.
This one?
Yeah, give that a go.
Sounds really scary, that. Might be... We can do 2 versions maybe.
Yeah.
See which one sounds better. So I'll duplicate it and keep that one as a spare. And then it was this note, wasn't it? Right, should we roughly work with that for a bit?
Yeah, see how that goes.
Should we bring this chord back in?
Yeah, I think maybe bring that chord
Super
back
happy
in.
one.
And then maybe
we'll work with
on that third chord, we could probably, just to make it a bit more interesting, maybe like cut that top note of the third chord in half and add the semitone up.
Like that?
Yeah, it did actually sound quite good. Maybe some of these top notes need to go as well.
Yeah, I mean this sound is awful. So
that's true. Maybe we should let's design a nicer sound. I think.
Good idea.
So yeah, like, we tend to use soft pianos and keyboards and Rhodes quite a lot, but also when we're kind of making a less traditional liquid tune, more of a kind of a deeper sound, we tend to use like more synthy sounds, and we do have a few outboard synths that we use, but you can also kind of create those kind of sounds in soft synths, no problem. So we can just try and quickly make a patch that kind of sounds good in Serum.
Do you want to jump on for this?
No, you can drive.
Okay, mate.
Yeah.
Right, so the trusty Serum.
So yeah, like what we're going for here is kind of sounds with kind of lots of cool resonances in it, because when you kind of add loads of filter movement to it, you get loads of interesting sounds. So for that, we can basically use some of the digital wavetables. So yeah, anything that's kind of, maybe we should stop. Actually, let's stop recording here and we'll come to it.